That's fine, that's their prerogative. Be proactive about your inclusivity. When you design events, communications, social gatherings, just think of both crowds when you're designing it. Check your biases. One of the best way to check your biases is to be aware of them. If you're aware of them, you can often say, hey, okay, that's not right, and fix it as you go. And don't try and diagnose others. I had a boss kind of try to diagnose me once. She goes, is there something wrong with you? You can go see a doctor and get fixed up. Now, I appreciate that she said that because it helped me go get treatment, but it was kind of a weird way to say it, right? So don't try to diagnose anyone. Let them go to a professional if and when they want to do so. So what happens to your team when you hire neurodiverse people? No surprise, it's a lot of what I've talked about already. You can get fantastic increases in creativity, problem solving, unique perspectives, attention to detail. You may have something that's really detail oriented. Employee retention, not just of neurodiverse people, but neurotypical people too. They're going to feel good. There's a lot of studies that show companies feel good when you hire neurodiverse folks too. You get a broader talent pool. If you're not hiring neurodiverse folks, you're missing out on 15 to 20% of the workforce. An inclusive work environment. Everyone wants to work in an inclusive work environment. Everyone wants to be appreciated. So this is one of my big slides for today. This is one of my key messages. When you hire neurodiverse people, you can innovate more, right? That's really something that I think some company, if you know, and we're going to show a slide in a second of some companies who know. And if you don't know, you can find out, and you can really innovate by hiring neurodiverse folks. Here's some of the companies that are hiring neurodiverse workers. Leading edge companies in their industry: Microsoft, Ford, Alphabet, Google, SAP, Dell. A few banks too: JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, National Bank, Ernst & Young. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're getting benefits for their company, to their shareholders, financial benefits to their customers. So it's not an accident. Now let's talk a bit about setting up for success. Okay, so it's great, if you've come this far, you say, yeah, I get it. I think there's some benefits of hiring neurodiverse folks, but you have to set yourself up as a company, and you have to set them up as well for success, or else it won't work. It might backfire. So that means accommodations and support. We've talked about that already, having a flexible workplace, arrangements, sensor-friendly environments, clear communications, training and awareness, like you're doing today. You're creating awareness, right, by having me talk here about neurodiversity. And individualized approach, really important. Every neurodiverse person is different. We present differently. We have different strengths and different challenges. And every team's different. So you really have to develop a plan at the person level, at the employee level, and at the team level for it to work. And it's not just for leaders. You can't say, well, it's just my manager's job. It's not just your manager's job. As a co-worker, you can get involved too, right, to support neurodiverse folks. Actively listening to their needs. Actively listening, not just, yeah, listening to them. Provide clear and open communication. Respecting their communication preferences. Like I said, some people like written, some people want verbal, etc. Flexible arrangements when possible. I know you can't do everything flexible. And a lot of the flexibility that you need to do, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just allowing some different flexibility in the way things are done, that's all. Creating an inclusive environment. Being mindful of potential triggers. So some things trigger people, right? If someone comes through the office with a marching band, right? That might trigger a few people, right? If you put a strobe light in, let's do some discoing, right? That could trigger some people. And educate yourself about neurodiversity like you're doing today. Just learn a little more. There's lots of great stuff online, by the way. You can Google and find out. You can use AI and get some great information there. And be patient with challenges they may face. Try to be patient. As you ask their patience for you, be patient to others as well. So this is an article that was recently published in the Globe and Mail back in February from Jennifer Fain. And you should read it if you have a chance. It really talks about how we have a worker shortage in some categories, and that neurodivergent people can fill those jobs. And it's a pretty good article, so I'd recommend you look at that. Okay, conclusion. I know I've thrown a lot of slides that you hear and a lot of material. There is a common thread though, right? You can see some of the common threads throughout this. Neurodiverse people are everywhere, right? We're 15 to 20% of the population. Like we said, you might be neurodiverse, you may have friends or family or coworkers who are neurodiverse. Neurodiversity shows up differently, right? Some people are great at certain things and have challenges in other areas. No neurodiverse person is the same. We have some commonalities, but each of us has a different set of challenges and strengths. We often get ignored or forced to mask, right? That's a sure sign. If someone's masking, that's probably a sign that their organization isn't interested in learning about them and isn't interested in making accommodations. And we do often get ignored. I know in life I've been ignored a lot. I would come up with something. I remember I was at one company, and I was at an offsite, and we were brainstorming about something, and I came up with this crazy idea that I thought was interesting. And I remember one of the leaders looked at me like I had 4 heads, and they just went. And I thought, well, that's not very nice. So I never gave any information again. I never come up with any new information again. And that person was a senior leader in the company. Okay, so you take your cues from senior leaders too. If they're not interested, if you come up with a crazy idea, you're not going to give any more. You're not going to innovate anymore with them. We have challenges, but we also have strengths. It's important. Don't just look at us for our challenges. Look at us for our strengths too. And it's been proven statistically, financially, that employers can win by hiring neurodiverse people. Look at those companies I put up on the board, right? Those are smart people. Those are top companies. They know something. And then finally, it's great to go down this road, like I mentioned, but you have to prepare your company. You have to prepare the individual in teams, and accommodations must exist. So that is my formal presentation for today. I'd like to open it up for any questions you may have. I'll try to answer the best I can, either about neurodiversity or about my journey. And like I mentioned, if you're a little shy and you want to talk afterwards, you can meet me and we can talk one-on-one. But I want to thank Compass Group again for having me here today. It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.